Creek podcast. I think it's like episode 52.
It depends on how we release them.
No, it's 52. I think it's 52. Maybe it's 51. Who knows? It's after 50, though.
It could be 53.
It could be 53. It's in the 50s, let's say that.
It's post 50.
It's not 50, but it's in the 50s. So somewhere between 50 and 60. We're working on a slot limit here, people, you know. Well, we're at Tailwaters. It's a BHA Pint Night. Final one of the DFW Metroplex. Maybe of the entire year, I think.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know if Austin or San Antonio has any going on, but...
Yeah, we got 2 weeks left in the year, roughly.
Banner year for BHA. We increased our membership by, I think, almost 700 people. And we have a big push. If you're hearing this, hopefully we can get this out in the next, probably a week left when you're hearing this, but there's a big 6.5 Creedmoor Savage with a Nikon scope on it that we're raffling off. If you buy, for every a guest membership I believe you buy for BHA, you're going to get your name in the hat to win that, so that'll be kind of neat. And that's like a quick turnaround too.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a lot. I mean, that 6.5 Creedmoor that
we
gentleman
just gave
won.
away another rifle.
Yeah, that's that 6.5 Kimber.
Kimber, yeah.
And he wanted it chambered in a 30-06, so stay tuned because there may be another Kimber 6.5 Creedmoor giving away in 2019.
It was a nice gun.
Dude.
It lived in my safe for a while for safekeeping
hard
for the chapter.
Hard to have that in your
in
your house and not utilize it. So
it's a cool caliber.
Well, we're here with Erik Sletten.
That's right.
From I said that like real
awkward
like Norway, like Sletten.
That's what it is. It's Norwegian.
It's Norwegian. See?
Yeah.
I watched a little of
You're a savant.
Yeah, you know. I'm an idiot savant is what I am.
Yeah.
From SixSite, right here in Dallas.
That's right.
Texas company. It's awesome. Man, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me out here.
So you were talking about being at Tailwaters here and that you're trying to get into the fly fishing thing.
Man.
And
yeah, that's I think that's next level for me. Like I got the opportunity, like I was telling you, at White River Mountain Ranch this year. Up in Colorado, had some guys kind of irking me on to go out and give it a try, and had the opportunity to hook up with a significantly like sized rainbow trout that I didn't even know at the time would probably be some world-class trophy.
Yeah, it's just like,
and I ended up losing it right on the bank.
Oh.
so yeah, I think I got a lot to learn. That's for sure on the fly fishing side.
It's so much fun, man. I tell you, just because you can do so many different things, and it's just another level of fishing, just like archery to gun hunting and stuff like that. So, but we can't thank you enough for being here with us tonight, and I'm anxious to learn a little bit about you guys. I've heard so much about SixSite. I mean, it's camo that you guys have donated to BHA a bunch for our events over the last couple years, which we can't thank you enough for. And so,
yeah, man, it's been great.
So, just kind of from the very start, I think the first question I have is, especially after Ranella's last podcast, we're big Meat Eater fans. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
I hadn't listened to that one yet.
I haven't either, but
God.
Bigfoot, yeah. I mean, I'm from the sticks of East Texas, so I've seen some people around there that look like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't say that I was
Sam Squanch.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that particular one, but possibly.
Well, that's good.
Possibly,
See,
man.
that just adds some legitimacy to you. Because if you would have said like, "Hell yeah, man," I'd have been like, "Well, thanks for joining us, Erik."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. SixSite.
We're gonna have to cut this one short.
Yeah, that's right.
If you want to kill a Yeti,
yeah, that's right.
Call these guys.
Yeti. Yeah, we got Yeti camo.
They're an outfitter
exactly.
for Sasquatches.
Yeah.
SixSite #.
Yeah.
Yeti Sasquatch killers.
Yeah, that's our new camo pattern coming out.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So a little bit about SixSite. I mean,
Sure.
Obviously, if anybody's done any looking around, you guys are veteran-owned.
Yep.
Navy SEALs. Like, how did this whole thing come about, and where did it start? And
yeah, our founder Stephen Holly is he's the main cheese when it comes to getting this kicked off and everything. Kind of a dream he had. Coming out of the SEAL teams, when he was there, a lot of ops and stuff that they did required specific elements of their gear and technology, that they, had access to, but needed to adjust in certain ways. So that's what actually he started doing, was taking part gear and stuff, and ripping it down, sewing it back up, and making it where it was more functional and slimline, a little bit cleaner and leaner, and just quick.
From somebody sitting in an office designing camo for somebody who's a Navy SEAL in the field, like, oh, this is what they'll need.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so he ended up starting to he did that a lot. Of course, he grew up, in Texas and stuff, just right up the road here, and near Dallas, and basically just grew up hunting and fishing and stuff. So he had that passion for it, and that just translated over. So when he jumped out of the military and out of the SEAL team, he came back and did real estate for a little bit and dabbled in some other ventures, and had a ton of success at it, which is the crazy part of this whole ordeal. Is Steven's been unbelievably successful at everything he started, including the carry the load operation too, that he the nonprofit that he works with, and it's unbelievable that the guy can be successful at so many different things. But he ventured into the camo line not too many years ago now, and it's blown up, man. Yeah. It's just been unbelievable. The growth in the last 18 months, especially since I've been able to just be a part of the team and really see it. It's just been, it's
phenomenal.
It's mind-boggling, man. Honestly.
Well, we're being Texas local boys here ourselves. We are huge proponents of any company that's here in Texas.
Oh yeah.
That is a part of the hunting and
especially
fishing industry.
Support BHA.
Absolutely.
That's right, man. Yeah, no, it's been great, man. It's just been the reception that we've got from everybody, and just the feedback from our the guys that actually seriously hunt and really put the time in and can appreciate the functionality of the gear, really see the technical aspects of it that Steven's really brought to the table with this. Not to mention, you got a lifetime warranty on all products. So I mean, it kind of the vortex optics of the camo world, if you will.
You're speaking our language for sure.
Yeah, that's right. And everybody knows that camo can be very expensive.
Very,
very expensive. I mean, you look at the competition these days, and I mean, we're right there in lines with that. And the difference is, though, is we kind of see the camo as an investment, and that's where the warranty really comes in and stuff.
I've browsed y'all's website some, and I'm into it. But yours comparatively is not near as expensive as some other stuff you see.
No, it's
like
not.
It's approachable to me.
Sure.
Even,
yeah.
And us being blue collar Texas public land hunters, I'd like some other name brands, but I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a set of gear. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
especially not.
Is it? And we had this conversation just a couple days ago. Is it that much better?
Yeah. That's right.
That's an honest question. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Do you get what you pay for? Like, where's the diminishing return?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you do. The technology that's involved.
You do get what you pay for?
You do. In our case especially, I mean, just because of not only the warranty, but the textiles that we're utilizing and stuff is top tech. It'd be it'd be like taking a Honda Civic, and trying to race it at Le Mans or something.
I didn't mean yours, because no. I've got gear that's about the same price as yours.
Yeah.
But some of these other ones are 3 times the price.
Oh yeah.
Is that? Is it diminishing return? Like,
are you buying a name? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or is it just like, hey, it's got that name?
And I'm not trying to get you to throw anybody in the bus.
No,
we don't know these things.
No, yeah. I mean, you can do direct comparisons, but yeah, I mean, a lot of guys, it comes down to like Ford and Chevy. People ask me all the time from like like even an archery perspective, like what bow do you want to shoot?
Matthews versus Hoyt.
Yeah.
Oh
exactly.
yeah, absolutely.
I tell people the majority of the time it's one of the first. Whatever you harvested your first animal with is generally that's what people stick with. But we've pulled a lot of people from other companies, in our field and with our line of camo, that I really think that they've seen the benefit of SixSite in regards to not only are we built in the United States, but everything's manufactured here, so all the return on investment from our part and stuff goes back to the American people.
And that was a bit, from what I was reading about you guys, that was a bit of a struggle to kind of get to that point. People just from what I read, Steven was just like, I'm batshit crazy. I get it. I want to do it here in the United States. Just like I think like 4 different manufacturing facilities to finally get it.
Yeah, he's been dialing in with these guys for quite some time now. We've gotten big enough ourselves too that when we ask for certain things now, we've had the capabilities now with this particular factory to get it done. It's been exciting. Everything's continuing to grow. Like I said, even from a manufacturing standpoint, getting more efficient and leaner and stuff. And those processes have just been it's been a breath of fresh air over the last couple of years to find somebody and dial in with them. So
to finally get a good partnership in place. You're not just like you're getting some consistency and quality. Able to make changes and somebody's not freaking out.
Do you have a storefront here in Dallas?
We do. Yep,
Okay.
514 South Hall Street. It's right across the street from Deep Ellum Brewery.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
You can throw a rock and hit it.
Wow. Drink some beer and go get some camo.
That's right, man.
Sounds like my kind of day.
Yeah, because I want some new gear. I've talked with her about it. I'm pretty slim.
Yeah.
And the pants I have now are pretty baggy, which is great for layering like this time of year.
Sure.
But in the summer, they're comfortable,
Or
but
early season,
they catch on. They're just
They're
too
loud.
baggy. I want more of a slim cut.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at your fits; they seem to fit like that.
They
but
do.
I hate. That's why I hate ordering stuff.
Yeah, there's other people, without diving into names again, there are other brands in the industry that we've found that have gone one way or the other. They're extremely baggy, loose fitting and stuff, and they catch on a lot of things and they make a lot of noise. Or you got the extreme athletic cut that's like my
Damn near base layer.
Yeah,
skinny jeans.
Yeah.
yeah. Like I mean, I'm like 6'1", about 180 pounds, and they're telling me I need to wear like an extra large,
Exactly.
or an extra XXL, and I'm like, yeah, that's not even close to true sizing. We try to stick to true sizing in regards to kind of like it is an athletic cut, but in
Sure.
regards to athletic cut, what that essentially means is it's streamlined, it's fitted. You're not going to get the loose bagginess that's going to cause the noise that you're going to get upon stocks, and then especially for an archer, and coming from my background, that's basically all I've done my whole life. I've shot a lot of animals with rifles, but I love to archery hunt, and the things that we tried to eliminate was the bagginess in like the arms, the chest, the neck,
Sure.
the collar, even when
Yeah.
you're shooting like a thumb release or a trigger. There's elements of it that we've looked at across the board when we're designing these,
Just to make
these
it
particular
more,
pieces.
like you said, streamlined.
Yeah.
and
Streamlined and
efficient.
quiet, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
And I'll be down there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, man.
Try some stuff on. Let's
Yeah.
go get drunk and buy some camo.
That's right.
Sounds like a date.
If you do come in too, you'll get to meet our customer service sales rep, which I promise you is one of the main reasons why people convert. And Whit Peterman runs that particular department, and he's just he's the best. Yeah, he's the best. With everybody in there though you got Brian, who does a lot of our sales and stuff too. That's we've brought on here pretty recently, and just incredible at what he does. And then Stephen Molly and the rest of the crew just it's a great team to work with, honestly. So, and it grows every day. So it seems.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to us about bow hunting.
Bow hunting, man.
You said you killed a lot of animals. We have not.
Well, I say a lot of animals. I've killed some pretty unique animals in some cases, and then I grew up in East Texas, so I've shot whitetail just like everybody else. And I will say bow hunting, one of the coolest experiences I've had, me personally, is had the opportunity to hunt nilgai, free range nilgai last year with a bow, and that was
here in Texas.
Here in Texas,
wow.
Yep,
down south.
Yep, near the border of Mexico, on a big piece of property down there, but it's free range. There's no high fences and stuff, and it was incredibly challenging. It was like 100 and something degrees. I learned a lot on that trip, man. It was I think it was like over 105 degrees or something ridiculous, and I sat in a mesquite tree over water for days and days and days trying to wait it out to be able to get one of these to come in. And during the process of that, sitting there, I'm not a tech whiz by any means, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm like the John Dudley of archery, and but I don't know if the cam system everything got hot and the limbs expanded, or the strings or the wax or what, but I ended up there was a pig that came in, and I ended up shooting the pig at 43 yards, and I shot him low. I hit him a little low. And when I say a little low, I mean I barely clipped him. It ended up killing the animal, luckily, but and he died pretty quickly. But that being said, I went back and I tested my equipment, and I was impacting significantly low. And I, just kind of from trial and error, I figured out it had to be in the heat. I tuned down the cams a little bit more, picked up a little bit more speed out of it, and went back out there. And I'd been hunting for days and without a shot opportunity, almost to the point of about a week now, and ended up slinging an arrow and heart shooting a nilgai 45 yards frontal across a pond, and the animal died 50 yards and dumped over, and we ended up not finding him though.
No.
Yeah, I'm not even joking, man. That evening didn't even find him. We ended up looking we had a little puppy there, and we were looking with a bunch of guys, and I felt confident about the shot, but taking a frontal, anybody who knows anything about nilgai or has ever hunted them, I've seen guys, talk about shooting them with 300 Win mags, dropping them on the spot, and then watching them get up and walk off and never finding them. So
I shot a couple in South Texas.
I've heard they're tough animals. So
it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
We shot them very differently than you did.
Yeah. But it was a challenging hunt. Ended up getting it, and it was a pretty exciting hunt.
Yeah.
It's been one of the tougher hunts I've been on in regards to just how how skittish the animal was,
yeah.
and then how challenging it was to actually get in bow range.
It's like it's an African animal, right?
Yeah, they're tuned
free
up.
Free range. They're used
running
to
from
being chased by lions
and
and cheetahs and hyenas and.
Yeah, they're a pretty crazy animal, that's for sure. So
I think that's one of the
they're
cool
delicious,
things about
though.
Texas.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you were talking about cooking food and all that.
We
kind of
still got
stuff.
some in our freezer, actually.
Very good, very good.
I just think that's the cool thing about Texas is that there are so many opportunities for all types of animals, and like I said, free range exotics are a thing here. I mean, there's an elk herd in West Texas. There's there's aoudad. There's every form of animal that's here, and I love it.
Axis,
yeah.
All this African shit that broke out of pens.
Yeah. I shot a fallow years ago on a little place out near Robert Lee, Texas, and it was a very similar situation like that. Whitetail hunting, on free range property, waiting for something to come in and then see this white animal walk across, and I was like,
wait, what?
I thought it was in like Narnia or some kind of.
Yeah, then like we were down at a buddy's place
world.
in Fredericksburg, and there's all kinds of high fence around them, but they're low fence, and there's free range black buck down there.
That's awesome.
They've seen some, and I was like, holy shit! Like if one of those would walk across today, that would make my weekend.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god!
Smoke one of those. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But back to SixSite, man. Yeah, we've been doing quite a bit. The growth from my perspective and what I've kind of been working on some projects, and we got one of those that finally went from the trial phases and then into fruition, which was the Remington rifle that we did.
Okay.
And that was a big deal, man, for me. That was just a really cool opportunity. We ended up meeting with the Silencio Suppression Systems, so actually a can company right up the road in Farmers Branch, Texas here. Mm-hmm. And they had a Cerakote company named Scalpel Arms.
Okay.
And Christian is actually a good friend of mine now, and he Cerakotes for basically everybody in the industry, any Walthers and Marlin and Remington and so on and so forth. If you see a custom gun Cerakoted from a manufacturer, it's probably him who's done it. And anyway, he
do they take jobs from individuals?
What's that?
Can you just go in there and have stuff done?
Yeah. He's he actually what's cool though is he actually became a police officer here.
Oh wow!
So he just graduated not too long ago. So he's actually he does what he wants to do, I guess is a good way of saying it now.
When and where.
Exactly.
Whenever he wants.
And he's normally stacked up with people too. But anyway, the opportunity kind of came around through him and a connection he had. Him and I were kicking around one night, just chit-chatting about it, and made the connection, pitched the idea with Steven and the rest of the guys, and we actually ended up building 2 prototype rifles. Actually, both of the rifles we ended up doing were with Graybow stocks with Ryan McMillan and those guys, which Ryan's former SEAL guy as well, so it's pretty cool. But with the 2 prototypes, we ended up doing that and dropping in some like Timney triggers and stuff and doing some really cool little things. But what was real cool is we got to mess around with the actual Cerakote portion of it, and then all the CAD design and stuff for the fluting that emulated our pattern. We got to do it on the 2 prototypes, kind of figure out what we didn't like and what we did like, and then we took that and took it to Remington. Basically, had something to show for it. And the Remington Custom Shop picked it up, and they loved the concept behind it and stuff. So, and it was the gun is right up there. Kuyu ended up coming out with the Kuyu sheep rifle and stuff.
Yep.
And it was, SixSite, if you want to say it's our answer to it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
We ended up on the final rendition of the rifle. We ended up running an AG composite stock on it. On the sporter stock, we're talking. It's ounces, man. It's like 28 ounces, 32 ounces. I can't remember depending on the variation you get with like vertical grip positioning and stuff. But it was the first time that Remington had really advertised the custom shop in regards to that you could buy a limited edition rifle in either a vertical configuration or a sporter style stock, and then in any caliber configuration that you could think of or imagine. So that was really cool. And then we dropped the 40X trigger from Remington in that particular build. The first one we did that we released at NRA was in 300 Win Mag. We did hidden threading on it for a suppressor, and it's a pretty incredible system, man.
So did y'all
Badger Ordnance?
Did you do any blueprinting or accurizing, or just bolt-ons?
Nope. It's all blueprinted and accurized. Everything that's been done that you would have done in a super custom rifle and stuff is all in there. So it's been a pretty awesome system. You can actually go on YouTube or on the Remington's page. Remington's page, we're one of the first ones that will pop up when you pull it up. There's a big picture of Jeff Wobig and Steven out there with 2 SEAL Team guys, and they're shooting it. And then you can actually go to YouTube and look up SixSite rifle for the Remington, and
so you can order these rifles.
Yeah, you can go right
online. So what does
online.
this rifle run? Saying 300 Win Mag.
So depending on the configuration of how you do it, the prices are generally around $3,300. I would say that probably if you had a custom shop that carried it, which there are a few that do, that you'd probably see a street price roughly around 28. But you can get them as crazy. They can go as crazy as you want. Though.
Sure,
that's the reality.
Absolutely.
So, but we wanted something that came in a configuration that when it came out the gate, the majority of people that would purchase would be about half the price of the competitors' rifles.
Yeah.
You know that we. In that field, and you're still getting extreme. It's kind of the Corvette, if you will, of the rifle world. You know, it's
pretty cool.
It's the man who works really hard, you know, and wants to save up a little cash, but get an extremely performing rifle. It's every bit of that. And we also wanted something that could transition. It's not just a mountain rifle. You know, it's something that you could take into Texas or just any location across the Midwest. Go up north, go to Alaska with it. You have the action is steel action, not titanium. It's steel, which allows it has a little bit more weight to it and stuff. But the rifle overall build is extremely light, and it mitigates recoil when you're talking about shooting those heavier calibers.
Absolutely.
So it was definitely an interesting build. That's for sure. It was exciting though, man. We had a great reception from the NRA when we ended up releasing it from that perspective. A lot of people were coming in and asking about it. I know the Rifles made many trips with the Remington team on when they're showcasing it and kind of carrying it around. So
the old convention circuit.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's had some great just.
You guys going to be at Dallas Safari Club this year?
I'm sure we probably will be.
Yeah.
We're the official camo for Dallas Safari. So
I imagine so.
Yeah.
You may have a booth there.
So more than likely we will be there. It's just busy schedules all the time and travel everywhere. We were in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania this year, which was nuts at that.
Oh, wow.
That great. I think it's the Great American Outdoor Show.
Okay.
Holy smokes, man! That's a tough show. It's like. I can't even remember now. I felt like it was 9 to 10 days long or something insane.
Oh, my God.
I could be exaggerating, but it is a lot.
Yes. Even if it's 5
days. A 3-day show is a beating.
Yeah. Oh, it was tough, man. I'm sure my wife wasn't too happy that. My wife's never happy probably because I'm gone. Like it seems like all the time now.
Come home long enough to change clothes, take a shower, and then go back out again.
Yeah, this is.
That's this time of the year for us for sure. We're like.
That's right.
It's. I come home from work and.
My first open weekend is the last weekend in January when hunting's open. I'm booked out.
Yeah. No, it's been nuts. Now I have an incredibly supportive wife, luckily.
Yeah,
that's the only way that I'm able to do any of this stuff.
The way to do it is get a supportive wife who's like.
That's right.
Mine's really into the Real Housewives of New Jersey, so she's like, "Yeah, get out of here so I can watch whatever I want on TV." And I'm like, "Perfect."
Yeah.
I'm gonna go hunt ducks, and then go hunt turkeys, and then go hunt, pigs, and then I'm gonna start it all over again.
She, for a longest time though, my wife had the bigger buck.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
She does.
Does she?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course. And that's what happens, man.
It all eats the same.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right. She did for the longest time.
Plus,
though, man.
I mean, the good thing about having a wife who does that is, I guess, if she gets all the new stuff and the better stuff, and then she passes it down to you when she's like, I
can buy her a new gun.
Yeah, you can get a new gun.
Yeah, that's right.
Like she's got the new 6.5.
Yeah.
With nicer optics in mind.
Sure.
But she doesn't hunt all the time, so that probably ends up with me sometimes.
Got to make sure it's sighted in.
Yeah.
Still,
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I've used that excuse so many times.
Honey, you want a new gun?
Yeah, I got a buddy.
We should buy you a new gun.
I got a buddy and a salesman. His name's Josh Davis, and we joke about that stuff all the time, man. Like literally, I think we've just like carried in old boxes or like old bow boxes and stuff with like the brand new one, like slid into the house, like creeping by the door and throw them in the safe.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they'll pull it.
It's like that. It's like that meme that's like, my biggest fear is that if I die, my wife sells my hunting gear
for what I told her she paid for it, or I paid for it.
No joke, man. No joke.
Yeah, that's a constant struggle. But hey, you gotta have if you're gonna be married, you're gonna have to keep her happy with.
That's right.
With everything, so.
That's right.
So as far as just like grew up hunting and fishing, you said you're from East Texas?
Yeah, I'm actually from Kaufman, Texas.
Kaufman.
Near Canton.
I'm from West Point.
Okay.
Like Edgewood.
Yeah.
West Point area. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we're high class, man.
Oh man, classy bitches, man.
Yeah, no, it was a great town, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like having Uber Eats though. I'll tell you, I'm spoiled. As much as I like to go out.
Our buddy who just moved to Montana.
Yeah.
Who's from the same place. Didn't he just have his first Uber experience right before he left?
I'm not even sure he.
I don't think he did actually, because we said, "Come get drunk with us, and we'll put you in an Uber." And he'd never been in an Uber.
He looked at us like we spoke Chinese, and he was like, "Whoa, what?" He's like, "I've never been in that thing. You want to get in somebody?"
I heard of one of them.
First of all, let's set the precedent. Everybody,
we love you, Cameron. You're going to listen to this. We know it.
Yeah, anybody who's a listener to the podcast obviously knows. But if you're new to the Stillwater Creek and you're like, "Who are they talking about?" Is it somebody's like dad or 90-year-old?
Youngest one of the bunch.
No, he's like 14.
Yeah.
And he like two things. A, he's never been in an Uber before.
Okay.
And B, when we were talking about making lasagna, he thought we were talking about making Mountain House.
He said
lasagna.
Mountain House lasagna's best lasagna I ever had.
Really?
I said what? So like, what lasagna have you had? Well, I mean, a couple others, I guess. I said, have you ever made lasagna? He says, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Mountain House. I made it.
No.
Oh,
no.
Man. Nice.
Poor bastard.
Poor Cameron. Who's just up slaying ducks in Montana.
Oh my God.
I'm so jealous. And
I'm flying up there next year. I wanted to do it this year.
Montana, you said?
Yeah, he moved to California.
He didn't really even duck hunt. Now every day he's like, limit it out.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to go buy a
We
shotgun.
shot 2.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's going after some wolves this weekend.
Yeah,
so.
I've heard the hunting's incredible up there.
He just is like.
He said if we get up there, we can get some wolves.
He just went up there. I talked to him like probably a week and a half after he'd moved up there, and he was just like, man, this is just. It's.
If I was his age.
Indescribable the amount of game. He's like, I'm driving the other day.
I saw a bighorn sheep.
Yeah, bighorn sheep. I saw a 300+ inch elk just chilling out in the middle of it. You're just like, Jesus, man.
That's nuts.
I drive and I'm like,
he's like,
I saw a dead dog on the road today.
Yeah, that's a big dead whitetail buck on I-45.
Yeah.
I know. I tell you, going to Austin the last couple of times, I've seen like right in like South Dallas a deer on the side of the road. I was like, man, that's.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's probably like, where did this come from? Like,
dude, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they are, man.
They're good. They're masters at hiding.
Oh yeah.
So, well, what's your favorite thing to hunt? In the state of Texas. Well, just let's start state of Texas and then expand from there.
State of Texas, I'm classic, man.
Yeah.
I'm a whitetail guy.
Just chasing whitetails.
Love whitetail, man. Addicted to them. Honestly, like I grew up. My dad introduced me into hunting at a very, very young age, shooting bows and guns and working on cars and all kinds of like all American stuff, blowing up stuff, and
exactly.
So, but no, I just fell in love with whitetail. Hunted a lot in Robert Lee Winters, Abilene, San Angelo, and stuff in that area for a long period of time. And which is funny because I grew up in East Texas, right by some of the best public land, in my opinion, that you can hunt. And but it wasn't until later, really in life, that I transitioned out into the public land scene with probably back in I'd hunted it periodically a couple of times over the years, like Sam Houston National Forest and Davy Crockett and stuff, but got back into it heavily right at the end of college after about 2011 or 12 or so, and I've had some great success, man. Davy Crockett National Forest, I've shot my largest whitetail buck out there, which was nuts. It was my first day there, or second day there, time. Just smoked one. Just smoked a stud, 135 and some change inch 8-point. So just a nice buck, man. I don't shoot giants all the time. I will tell you that. I public land hunt a majority of the time. It hasn't been until recently, being involved with SixSite, where I've had the opportunity to hunt some incredible properties. But it's been fun.
We're hardcore public land hunters.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to
a fault.
Really to a fault. But we're just trying to adapt to kind of different strategies on public land.
Sure.
And first couple years of hunting public land, it was like, let's spray and pray type thing. Like, let's hit up a bunch of different locations.
Yep.
Really spread our wings out. And then I really kind of thought that's probably, I wonder if this is hurting us more than it's really helping us. So we went this year kind of to, let's focus in on a kind of a single piece of property.
Yeah.
Or limit down that to a very select few pieces of property. And now after this season, I'm kind of like, man, maybe we go back to the other way around. So
yeah,
I think
we're running saddles next year, and we're going to move.
Yeah.
Tree saddles.
Ultimate like run and gun setups, man.
I've got a better. We talked about my strategy for next year.
I've already been looking at those things, and I'm like, oh man.
Arrow Hunter. If you want to be on the podcast, call us.
Yes,
those are the ones I've been looking at. Have you seen those?
Yeah. Here recently.
I was just watching people
cool.
set them up like that, and you're just
they're
like
so light. We were duck hunting a couple weekends ago, and you weren't with us. When I hiked, I pulled my stand down, I had my sticks and strapped on and hiked it. I mean, I don't have helium sticks or anything, so I'm hiking out 65, 70 pounds of steel.
Yeah.
Just big.
Yeah.
Loud.
Just noisy as shit.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, those saddles and those nice clip-on step things, the ones that just strap on.
Dude, I've been
the
looking
individuals.
at so many of those.
I mean, you can get a whole kit under 20 pounds.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah.
So it's just so much. You can be so, like, this spot ain't working. You're not leaving your stand or hiking it back out. Like, nope, unhook your rope.
Yeah.
Midday, like, fuck it, I'll sit the rest of the day out over here. Just move.
Yeah.
Pack a book and some water and some sandwiches and sit all day.
That's awesome.
Especially during the rut.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been this year's been really cool though. It's I've spent the most time in the woods ever in my life.
Yeah.
And I did the least amount of hunting for myself.
Yeah, just with other people.
Yeah, man, guiding and hanging out and stuff. I mean, we've had the opportunity this year to go to the White River Mountain Ranch, like I was talking about earlier, up in Colorado, near Craig, Colorado, and Hayden. And man, it's unbelievable. The property's 23,000 acres.
Oh my God!
It is ginormous, and it holds the largest elk population. I know in the country. I mean, it's got to be in the world.
Yeah, Colorado's the premier elk.
And I would stand to say that this property holds the most elk.
Oh, wow.
Period for a private piece of property. And we had the opportunity to go up there with for the American Warrior Association, which is a nonprofit that SixSite works with, along with like Carry the Load and some other ones. And one of the donors was UFC fighter, Hall of Famer Royce Gracie.
Oh,
and that was really cool, man. It was just the opportunity to meet. We had him there as well as a lot of the SEAL team guys, and then a few of the donors that came from across the country, and just to be able to experience elk. You were asking me what my favorite in Texas is.
Yeah.
My all-time favorite to hunt anything period is elk now, and I'm a very recent to elk hunting.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about hunting them? Just
man, the rut now.
Yeah.
Because this is what happened, and it'll be I think 2015 now. I'd never hunted elk in my entire life. I was the stereotypical what you see like a Texas guy that hunted whitetail through and through. Always had the dream of going elk hunting. Never pulled the trigger. Oh, it's too expensive, or it's this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Made up an excuse every year. I'll go next year. I'll do this, or I'll pay for an outfitter. Finally, my buddy Josh, like I was talking about the other day, and Justin Davis, a friend of ours that lives up in Colorado. They said, dude, we just got to go. Let's just do it, finally.
Screw it and do it.
And this is not an exaggeration. This is 100% a true story. So we drive up there, and we have a weekend to hunt, Saturday and a Sunday.
Oh, wow.
It's 16 hours there, and 16 hours back.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm not even joking, man. So we drive all the way up there. Our time was getting cut short just due to some family stuff that we had to deal with. But it was absolutely insane, man. So we get up there, and our buddy Justin lives up in the area. He basically laughed at us. He was like, "Dude, there's no way." We both bought it. We both made the novice mistake of going up there and just purchasing a tag.
Just getting the over the counter.
Both of us just went up and bought it. We should have, looking back now, strategically, especially when you're in the rut. And what we found that is if you pick one person that you're really gonna go after and stuff, buy that tag and then commit to that person that entire time, because on public land it can be extremely challenging. And if you're sitting there and you're both eating a $700 tag sandwich by the end of the week, it's or end of 2 weeks, it can be a little overwhelming. But anyway, so we both go up there, we both buy tags, right? And he's like, dude, there's absolutely no way that you're gonna. You'll be lucky if you get one elk, or see an elk that you can shoot and harvest.
Exactly.
We go up there, first day, we hike up a mountain to this particular spot that Justin took us to, and this is all public land, so you can do it yourself. And hiked up there, sat down, and my buddy Josh is coming up, and at the time he's just giant dude, big bulky guy, muscular stuff, coming up the thing weighing like 220, getting like altitude sickness, about to die, and he's the first to fire the shot. And we get up to the top of the mountain, and in 5 minutes, man, we see a bull, a shooter, and it's unbelievable, like coming down the hill. And what we actually figured out later is there was a couple of hunters that worked their way around and ended up push this bull out.
Yeah.
And anyway, we ended up smoking this bull. He ends up shooting it and stuff. It was rifle hunting, and ended up smoking the bull, man, and just we lost it. You know, like I mean, at that point when I saw that animal first of all, I'd never even seen an elk in my entire life in real life on the hoof. And watching it hit the deck and seeing how large they are and just the experience of it, I was like addicted. I like picked Justin off the ground, like literally lifted his feet off the ground and like screamed like super loud, so loud that we actually had game wardens that came out later and like were inspecting.
Did somebody die?
Yeah. But so the great part of this story though is, you know, so boom, we get one done like that. Now we have that evening and the next morning, you know, that evening of the following day. And we ended up going out, man, and harvesting another bull. Two bulls on public land in 2 days, which in some people's eyes, maybe that's easy peasy, but I can tell you for not having a ton of knowledge and going out there and just cracking at it.
If you feel that that's easy peasy, why don't you give us a call?
Yeah.
Tell me why it's easy peasy.
We'll pay you to take us.
Yeah.
You know, but that's incredible.
Yeah, the next year was more challenging in regards to we went back out and
kind of get spoiled. You're like,
yeah. I was like, man, we got
let's do this thing in 24.
Yeah, we went bow hunting the next time, and we spent 9 days out there. We didn't see an elk until day 6, and had one shot opportunity. And that opportunity was blown because of just novice mistakes on our part, you know.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your mistakes?
The mistake, which is crazy too. Okay, so we listened to Elk 101, which I highly recommend if you're a new elk hunter.
Corey Jacobson.
Corey Jacobson, that's right.
I think he's partnered up with Newberg now, right?
He is.
I think they're doing a big podcast.
Yeah, they are. Elk Talk, man. And if you're new to the elk, or if you're not new to elk hunting, man,
just want to listen to cool shit.
super highly recommend those guys. I can say that honestly, the success that we've had after this, some of the novice mistakes would not have happened without like Elk 101 and the education that we got from that. So. But yeah, it was just we went there, just made some novice mistakes. We had a bull coming over the ridge, and what happened was Josh was the caller, I was the shooter. We had another buddy of mine, Wes, that was actually doing the filming. And as we were transitioning around and trying to get in place, which we had studied like all the slingshot methods and stuff that you learn in like Elk 101. We kind of got separated and lost contact on like when to call, you know, who's to call and who's all this, and didn't have a really solid game plan, which we had never got even that opportunity before to execute one.
So just kind of not when you went into the woods, you didn't really have a hey, when we see this, like you stay here, I'm gonna go 40 yards back. I'm gonna call.
We had a theoretical plan like that, but there was
that was formulated somewhere between Amarillo and
That's right. Yeah, I think
dumbass.
I think we were right by like text line.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Josh forgot like everything about calling. I think at that text line. No, he's it was at the time I wanted to kill him because the bull ended up coming about 35 yards and broadside, and I needed him to take another step forward to smoke him with a bow and. The bull, just like what you see, man, and what you read about and what they say on Elk 101, they'll take a look. But if a bull cannot visualize what they're looking at, or trying to find, and they can pinpoint you, man, to the
they know
within feet. Yeah. Like that's where the call's coming from. I should be able to see a 300 or 400 pound animal right now. Yeah. And man, he did. He just ended up turning and walking off, and never got a shot opportunity. But
so just your calling guy didn't just move far enough back behind you, or to a direction where it would kind of bring him a little closer to you, kind of thing.
Well, what happened was he actually got, because we got separated a little bit and didn't really man him in the correct position just because of a novice mistake. He was actually exposed. And that's what the problem was. Is if he would have called, it would have been a direct that's where he's standing.
Yeah.
At. And from my end, I'm like 35 yards from the bull, so I'm trying to coax the bull into the shooting lane myself with like cow calls, and he wasn't having it because we were both in a position where it's just not ideal.
I should see you.
Yeah. And what I found hunting White River Mountain, man, I called in a ton of bulls. We had great success on the property, and from my personal perspective, if I could ever, and from what you'll hear on like Elk Talk and stuff, bulls want to come in downhill. They don't like going up, especially in a fighting situation. If you're challenge bugling and stuff, it's common sense. It's gravity. If you're going to fight, you don't want to fight uphill. You want to be the guy coming down. So I position myself from some of the mistakes that I made before in the past on that, and position myself, kind of lower and then really hidden, so that they have to cross into that, basically that top of that ridge, or to get to the top of that ridge in order to see exactly where I'm looking at. And then the shooter, you line up in the lane, ahead of that.
Okay.
So it's worked out pretty
successfully.
Yeah,
it's
been
pretty
awesome.
Deadly tactic.
It has. Will Spencer's another SEAL team guy and one of the guys that runs American Warrior, and he brought a recurve bow out there.
Oh my God.
It never bow hunted in his life, and it just brought out the most toughest, challenging thing ever. And the first afternoon out, man, we ended up calling a bull into, feet from him, and he was crouched down like in a bush, like with like a 30-something foot recurve, and couldn't just get a pop a shot off. So it was awesome. We've had many laughs about that. So
that's crazy.
But it was crazy, man. It was unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the things, just like from the outside looking in from an elk hunter, and just listening to you talk about elk hunting, Austin, and your experience over the last couple of years and hearing that kind of stuff. I mean, I think that's like kind of the hard part. It's like you go in and you're like, okay, I know the 10 out of 10 things I need to do.
Sure.
And you're in text line, and then you hit Colorado Springs, and then you hit the parking lot, and you're like, fuck, man, I can barely breathe.
Yep.
And you're like, holy crap, what pin is 30 yards? Yep. And then all of a sudden it's just out the window. And so I think that's just one of those things is like, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot like fighting. It's like anything, right? It's just like anytime you're in. Like
everybody has a plan until they get punched in the
face.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike Tyson.
Oh, Mike Tyson.
Best, right. Smartest thing he ever said.
Yeah.
And then I just, to me, that's like what I'm really trying to overcome this year is that getting punched in the face and being able to go, all right, let's get back into it now. Let's go, you know.
Yeah, it's got to keep going.
That's right.
Keep showing up.
Yeah, I mean, keep showing up and just.
Which, hunting public land in Texas is like a mental ass beating.
Oh,
you go out so much and sit so long and you don't see shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
extremely challenging.
We talk about it like, fuck, I just don't want to go sit, but you're not going to kill him from the couch.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah.
I mean, I think too, like, it's just like so the amount of woodsmanship that I've just had to develop, because I've got to find something that gives you a 2% chance of getting into a place or finding a path, and it's the amount of plants that I can go into the woods and identify what they are now that I couldn't 5 years ago is staggering, just because I'm like, okay, that's kind of secondary third browse.
Sure.
This is where you need to be. And
I think the cool thing too, and why elk hunting has really been appealing to me over the last several years is it's obvious in the hunting industry there's a giant push towards like the athletic hunter.
Yeah.
That's like a really big deal these days, and I think that's
you go on one elk hunt, you realize why real quick.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. It holistically, when you look at an elk hunt and everything that goes into it, it's not only do you have to prepare from a shooting perspective, your equipment's got to be on point. Then you got to be on point. Physically, it's very, very demanding. You really push yourself all day long, all the time, and that can be very challenging. And even from like from a Texas guy's perspective, like altitude is a real deal. Like that is 100% thing. I tell people if you can afford enough time to allot, a week, preferably like 10 days to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That the first couple of days, it's
chill.
It's just acclimating. Like go out,
figure out what you're doing, and lay the land.
Yeah, you can
Absolutely.
go. You can go out and go to the points that you want to look at, and try to figure out if those are the locations that aren't being overhunted or pressured, and then use that time to kind of acclimate, and stuff. So maybe you hike in, but don't hike in like crazy far. Don't be that guy who tries to go out, 20 miles the first day. If you're not used to it, there's guys who can do it and they're incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. But coming from 500 feet to 9,000 feet is real. I mean, it's real.
And I don't know about y'all, but it's funny. It's like you start putting gear and hunting boots on and stuff. It feels like you're in a dream when you can't walk or run.
Oh my god!
Like how
absolutely.
It slows you down like significantly. So you're not like your fastest, like you're in your New Balance shoes, like running around the
just
the house.
Backpacking my brother and I started about 4 or 5 years ago, just going on a backpack trip to Colorado for his birthday. He's like, "Hey, I'm having a kid. Like, let's go up there and just kind of I want to be in Colorado."
Yeah.
And just backpacking, man. Not with a bow, just with a backpack and some food for a couple days. You're just like, man, I am just wiped out.
And I mean, a good thing, and I've heard people say in the past too. I haven't done it, but shed hunting. I've heard a lot of people say that it's a good time. You can go up, you can get the lay of the land.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of good information in regards to where you're going, and then it's fun. You got something to do, outside of the just, there's not all the pressure really of when you're shed hunting, other than you can acclimate yourself, you can see the environment, you can see what you're going to deal with in the upcoming season, and then at that point you can kind of be prepared.
Man, I haven't even. That's the kind of thing too. Like just like my brother and I really want to do this elk hunt this year, and so we're looking at places to go, and I think that may be something that we may have to do early spring and just say, hey, Let's bite the bullet. Let's go up there and see some shed hunting.
Yeah.
Turkey.
Plus, I mean,
just go turkey hunt.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. I had honestly, man, never thought I would ever see turkey up there. I'm in Meeker, which I didn't know where turkey are up in Colorado and stuff. And, man, we were sitting there. And
Shitload of them.
Dude, yeah, it was unbelievable. We were sitting there, though, hunting a spot that we had pictures over and over again of giant bear in the area. Like that morning, the day before. Like we're barely missing them by, just hours. And mountain lion, too. And we were sitting by a log, man, and me and my buddy Josh, and it sounded like, all hell was breaking loose behind us and trees are crashing and stuff. And he looked at me, and I knew exactly what it was after hunting them for so many years, right near the Colorado River and stuff in Texas. But I just didn't expect it. It kind of caught me off guard, and we looked back, and there's birds, man, roosting all up behind us in the middle, up in the mountains. And it was just kind of new and kind of took me off guard. But it's cool, though. They're huge, and they're everywhere. So, yeah, it's another option is to get up there and try to crack. I think it's $125 too for like over-the-counter tag.
New Mexico.
Yeah.
We're going, me and Jarrett. We talked about it today, actually, about turkey hunting in New Mexico again in spring. So we're going to take the wall tent, so you should come. It's $100 over the counter in New Mexico.
Another one, too, is if you're in the DFW area or just in North Texas in general, is the Decatur grasslands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I actually
LBJ?
I harvested a bird up there. That's probably been a couple of years ago now, but a really solid bird, great bird.
A Rio?
Yep.
See, I've hunted Caddo grasslands for Easterns.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
Miserable.
I don't think I've ever
miserable.
seen I'm not even sure if I've ever seen a true Eastern. Like
I've seen it.
I don't even. Yeah.
They're silent though. You can't. They
That's
don't
what
call
I've heard.
back. You just. It's.
I heard one gobble.
Uh-huh.
And that was it. And it was.
I heard they're tough to hunt, man.
They're super tough. I've hunted them for 3 or 4 years up there, and
really,
I've seen 1 or 2. Never killed one.
My next thing, I had the opportunity, like I said, this year. I traveled a lot, and stuff, and some of the hunts that we did. One of them, one of the bucket list hunts I got out of the way was pronghorn, man.
Oh wow, yeah.
That was cool, man. That was an awesome hunt, and I want to kick my buddy Kobe though. He's the guy who took me, so I can't kick him too hard. But he's like, oh man, some of them don't eat real well, and you might want to just make like summer sausage out of it, and some beef jerky. So I got like 20 rolls of like this, summer sausage in there, and everybody I've talked to since then has been like, man, they're incredible to eat and stuff. And I've had some since then. It's not just summer sausage, and it's phenomenal. So
man, I tell you,
antelope in general is good.
Yeah,
I'm a meal guy.
Anytime somebody tells me, man, they don't eat that well, I'm kind of like, meh.
I mean, I had a hard conversation with a coworker the other day who doesn't hunt. Come to find out, he works in our company. He doesn't live near me.
Sure.
He's like, oh, I hear you hunt a lot. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I hunt some. And he says,
some.
We start talking about pigs somehow. Oh yeah, those are crazy. This and that. I said, yeah, they're pretty crazy. This and that, but it's easy meat. You can't. He tells me, not you eat those, but he tells me you can't eat those.
Can't eat pigs.
I said, I said, have you ever shot one?
Yeah.
No, I don't hunt. So.
Oh yeah.
Explain this. Like, explain your this hard opinion. Like.
Yeah.
That's everybody tells me you can't eat them. I said, well, I've got 100 pounds in between the freezers right now.
Yeah,
so fuck me, right? Yeah, I was about to say. And then I braised off a whole it was 6-7 pounds for tacos on Sunday.
Of the prototypical. Leave that sumbitch
out. It was a 300-pound boar.
Really?
And everybody, you can't eat those. Like, well, we sure did.
I swear to God, you could have. There's not a single person on earth that you could have put store-bought pork versus that pork.
Really?
And they'd have been able to tell the difference.
That's awesome, man. One of my favorite things is like 150-pound pig, like smoked whole.
The whole thing?
Oh
yeah. We do a couple of those at his house every year.
So
he does an event thing.
I have a buddy who's real good friends with Steven.
Okay.
And so you've got a big trailer smoker there.
Yeah.
In the parking lot.
Giant.
That's the trailer smoker.
Oh, is it?
So my buddy Gavin.
That one came to his house. We smoked on it.
Nice.
Yeah, Chris Level and those guys have been friends with Steven for a while, and they parked their smoker down there. And then
it's funny you say that too. Like when people come into the storefront, like we have a really nice storefront when you walk in, right? So then you walk into the actual warehouse portion of it that's behind it where we keep all of our stuff and everything and do the shipping and stuff. And then one of the number one things that people want to talk about and see when they come to the shop, no, we have a giant walk-in refrigerator that's like homemade.
Oh wow!
That like Steven made with like an AC unit, and I'm not even joking. It's huge, and that's where we like age our meat and stuff. And it's all boarded up, and it's got a big elk horn on the door, and it's really, really cool.
Build us one.
Dude,
Let's turn
cool.
you a shed and a walk-in.
It's cool, man.
You got just so much. Let's buy another shed.
Where am I going to put that
We
at?
can put it in our backyard, but we're going to have to move it eventually.
Exactly.
But if we put it on pallets.
You just roll it.
But
no,
I digress.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I feel like
perfect.
we could probably get like a porta potty and like fashion that into it.
Cut everything out of it.
Cut everything out of it.
Spray foam.
And just use that as like the frame, and then it's like move it.
Yeah.
You could probably get 4 deer in there.
No,
I bet there's 2 or 3 porta potties at Dan's that are just out there.
Dude.
We could take one.
I guarantee you. It'd be kind of weird.
Yeah. Nobody would take your meat, man.
No, nobody's gonna fuck with it.
Nobody's gonna.
No one messes
Shitter's full.
Yeah, shitter's full. Exactly.
Yeah, nobody will mess with that.
But yeah, that's we've gotten into the dry aging thing quite a bit, and I mean, just the difference, and I mean, this is where like guys like Ranella, in my opinion, have just made a world of difference in my life more than anything. But I'm sure a bunch of people's lives is just what you do with meat.
Yeah.
I used to kill a deer every year and turn 100% of it into sausage.
Yeah.
Take it to a processor.
Take back
done.
straps and I mean, just take the back straps and then turn the rest of it into
cut your
sausage.
steaks.
And just that was it. Now I haven't made sausage in years.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I hardly make grind.
Johnsonville brats are good.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna kill a deer, I'd rather savor the flavor.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, no,
just
I agree.
The amount of times people look at me like I'm an idiot because I'm like, I have a cousin who I go to and cutting ribs off. He's like, what are you doing, man? It's not even worth it. I'm like, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Shanks, necks.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that I've like
flank steaks, all skirt
oh,
steaks.
my skirt and
Skirt's always
you know.
good. You know what was interesting is this year. So another place we got the opportunity to hunt. A buddy of mine, Adam, took me and me and a few of the guys over there to Arkansas. And I never hunted Arkansas before, and we had the opportunity to harvest a few deer with the bow. And one of the deer, and I've eaten a lot of weird stuff, man, over the years. My wife and family can attest to it. I've eaten some nasty, nasty things, and but I've never eaten deer heart.
Okay.
I've just never done it.
It's delicious.
It is, man.
You ever eaten buck nuts?
Yeah.
Also delicious.
Yes, I've had the old Rocky Mountain oyster style stuff too, but the heart, man, that was just, I don't know,
The tongue? You done the tongue?
Yep, done tongue before.
So I'm sorry, you were saying I was getting a beer, so
it's all good, man.
so you tried the heart.
Yeah. So what
and you thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, I loved it, man.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, my buddy Levi actually took it and did the whole buttermilk thing, and then we ended up like slicing it, and it was just unbelievably good, man. We had like these thin little slices and fried them and stuff.
So
and
good.
It was just the way I said, man.
Carry gold butter and heat, man.
That texture of heart is like, I mean, it's just so good because it's like the only thing I can say is it's a better fillet.
Yeah.
It's got that buttery, like just silky
smooth.
Rich. Yeah, I mean it's rich, but like just the texture of the meat itself is just very like soft and so good. Oh my God.
I expected it to be kind of like liver or something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, man.
It's a muscle.
It is.
It's not a filter.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it was awesome, man. I was extremely surprised. I told my buddy Levi, and I was like, man, you're holding literally this heart, and he's over there slicing up. I was like, man, I've never eaten it. I was like, you're either going to make me where I never want to eat it again, or this is going to be the best thing ever.
Or you're going to be that guy. So, I mean, we went out a couple weeks ago, and I guess it's been a month or so now, but Lauren shot a doe, Hart shot it.
Nice.
We're like, God damn it. Then I shot one, Hart shot it. Damn it. Then we shot another one, Hart shot that one, and then finally got one, and we're just like, I mean, if we tried to do this, we would have never been able to do this.
No.
But we were like, all like,
now that we give a shit,
now
like,
exactly.
Of course I nicked the heart.
Of course.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Were y'all doing like the caul fat, like a wrapped around?
I've got some caul fat frozen.
Have you done that?
I've never cooked with it, but I've got a big, nice chunk of it frozen.
Yeah, we pulled all that out, and
I've seen people do that.
It's next for me.
Okay.
I cook a lot.
Okay.
And it's next.
He's the Stormwater Creek chef for sure.
Yeah. That's I've heard that's the bee's knees.
The next deer, first weekend in January, we're going back to a friend's place, and I think I'm going to do liver. I've kept them.
Yeah.
I've been able to throw them away because they say they don't freeze.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
It's good. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah. I'm going to either do I think I may cut the 2 lobes apart and chicken fry one, then turn the other into pate. Yeah. I'm a big pate guy.
Okay.
Just to see.
Yeah. Because I want to take, I bet you need a couple livers, though, but just to, make, boudin.
Dude, that's...
Dude, you put so much shit in it.
You're literally, that's my language, man, right there, boudin. When I go down to Knack and we shoot at this place called Meadow Ridge Archery and Gun, it's a little shop down there. It's actually a pretty big shop. And they have this little donut shop, and it's boudin, like pigs in a blanket.
Oh, my God.
Buc-ee's has them. Buc-ee's has
do they?
boudin kolaches, and the texture's weird.
Oh man.
I don't know, man.
I'm just saying Buc-ee's.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out because I
have a rule. You got to try everything twice.
That's
maybe. Twice. You have to do twice.
Yeah.
Because the first time you could have been prepared wrong. Could be there's multiple reasons.
That's right.
Try everything once is wrong. Try it twice. You don't like it twice, that's cool. You don't have to like it twice.
Yeah, that's
boudin, man. My brother lives in South Louisiana in Baton Rouge, and we go to this little place called Ronnie's. It's in I think it's an old Burger King or something, old Long John Silver's or something.
Yeah.
And he takes me in there one day, and I'm just like, man, this place is being a huge fan of Mexican food here in Dallas.
Yeah, sure.
You go to that place. You go to those places that people, if you're not familiar with it and know what you're getting into, they walk in and go, "How the hell has the health department not shut this place down?"
Yeah,
that's this
the best place.
That's this place, except for Cajun.
That's awesome, man.
So we go in there and just boudin balls.
Oh
my God,
So I've made some boudin. So we have a new animal we're gonna try in February. We go on this. We talk about it all the time on the podcast too. It's Hog-A-Rama at a friend's place. It's a fundraiser for Buddy's Lease. It's mostly drink beer Rama, but if you get there early, you can shoot a couple pigs, whatever.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat a raccoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we should turn it into boudin.
Dude, I'm
you
down.
Can't fuck it up, right?
No.
I can make boudin. I've made boudin out of squirrels and rabbits and
rice and
I've got sausage caser. We're good.
Yeah, raccoon.
So let's make raccoon boudin.
That'd be probably fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
we'll just throw all kinds of shit in it.
You can
bunch of pork belly, some raccoon, and grind it.
Since I've made the jump to squirrels, I'm willing to go one farther step into raccoons.
Have you had mountain lion?
Oh my God, I want to so bad.
Everybody says it's like pork.
It's good.
I had a conversation with work people last night,
and
we were talking about hunting mountain lion. I was like, I'd love to eat one. They were like, what the fuck? Thought it was crazy. They're like, you'd eat a cat? I'm like, I don't give a shit what species it is. Quote.
Does it
meat's meat? Right. I mean,
yeah, sure.
A coyote has a bad rap from Ranella, and I respect Ranella.
Remy Warren and Ranella are like, fuck
if they're not gonna stomach it, I mean, I'm out.
No,
so I'm definitely in for it.
We had sausage this last year, mountain lion sausage, and it was unreal, dude. It was so good.
It's lean.
White
meat.
It's lean, man.
I mean, Ranella.
They love it.
Well, did you see that episode? They released a web episode where he kills a mountain lion, and they cut it open, and the meat. I mean, you would not. It's pork.
Yeah,
it is straight pork.
Adam Greentree was talking about it because he just knocked that mountain lion out of that tree.
Yeah, coloration and stuff too. Yeah. Neil got the one that we harvested too when we were down there, and my father-in-law actually ended up getting one, and it was a younger bull, and it was very similar to that. I mean, it was just almost
it's real. It's light,
light, and
it's good.
It's like veal.
You've eaten Neil Guy, right? Yeah, I've given you some.
Yeah, Axis was incredible this last year.
Axis, I've never killed one, but I've eaten it.
Yeah,
holy shit.
Yeah, that was extremely good. Got to try a lot of cool stuff over the last couple of years, but
we had at a BHA event in San Antonio. We got to try water buffalo.
Oh yeah.
Water buffalo heart, water buffalo.
Nice.
You had elk, which is always delicious.
Axis, pig.
I've got some elk now.
Oh my God.
Thanks, JT.
What about?
Oh, you hooked up? You got JT.
I'm supposed to go this week. I know it's Thursday. If you're listening,
what about rattlesnake?
I mean, you can get a restaurant. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'd eat it.
Have you had it?
You've never eaten it?
I've never eaten it.
It's white meat.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. They used to have
nothing wrong with it at all. It's white.
Out in West Texas, I think it was near Coleman or something. I can't remember. My dad and we used to go every year, and they had this big thing for the hunters, and that was one of the things they cracked out there one year, and they just had I'm not even joking, man, this huge old live rattlesnakes, and they're in there chopping them up and stuff and cooking them up for the hunters. And it was good, man. It was pretty good.
I'm willing to give anything a try.
Twice.
Twice, like you said.
Twice.
I mean, after squirrels, I feel like I was, 3 years ago, I was a very squeamish eater, and when it came to wild game, and over the last 3 years, I've gotten to be like, I'm not eating that. From I'm not eating that to, fuck it, I'll eat it, you know?
Yeah.
To now, like, we got to kill some squirrels.
Like, oh, my God. I'm just like.
Squirrel empanadas is our next adventure.
Yeah.
We've done a lot. I made squirrel banh mi a while back.
That was so good.
Man, you're like a real deal cook.
Oh, it's legit.
He's
like I confit the squirrel with olive oil and sous vide, and then made quick pickled daikon, and made banh mi sandwiches. It was
ridiculous.
It was so good.
Like, you could have put that in front of the most like anyone who
one
would
of our
have been
parents
like, turn their exactly who would have been like squirrels, like, oh my God, and you'd eat it, and they'd be like, this is awesome. You're eating squirrels.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Man, I wish I could cook like that.
I mean, I'll plug Vanilla Forum. I got that new Meat Eater cookbook already.
Yeah.
And I've almost read it cover to cover, page by page.
Yeah.
It's solid.
You know what's pretty cool too is, jumping back onto SixSite stuff, is if you actually go to our website, we have Eat, Train, and Hunt.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. I probably need to look at some
what was it? It was something
more of the eating.
I saw it on there when I was looking. It was something about like field to fork.
Field to fork. That's right.
Which is,
Yeah.
I thought it was kind
common
of a cool
term.
thing. Yeah.
If you go into like our experience portion of the page and stuff, or go to YouTube and just start looking at SixSite, you'll see some elements of field to fork and like some of the things that we've done and stuff. And it's cool, man. Yeah, it's really
awesome.
interesting. But yeah.
Yeah, it's the food aspect for us is like we just like of late have just gotten like that's where everything goes to for us, because we're just like, man, we love to eat.
Yeah.
And
I've always liked to cook, but in the last 3 years, I've just gone balls
insane.
deep.
Went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Just like she'll ask, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? So-and-so's cookbook.
Oh, man.
Like,
maybe I'll get to that level.
no, I mean, there's no level. Just follow the recipe.
I'm like,
it's not.
like
I'm stupid.
I like
just read it. Just follow the recipe.
I'm like salt, pepper, and then anybody that knows me, I put like a million bills of sauce and I love trying sauces.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's like to the point of a fault, like where I'm the guy that's like in the fancy steakhouse. It's like, hey, you got any sauce? Yeah, I'm that guy. So
it's okay.
Well,
like once you get super deep into it, and you read enough recipes and play with it enough, you start to understand where you understand flavors.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Like that pig I cooked. There's a couple big pieces of backstrap and a roast. And I just made this, this vinegar-based barbecue sauce just because I know how to make one because I've read enough, I've made enough by staring at recipes. So I just ran to Walmart and bought apple cider vinegar, some butter, some salt, pepper, ketchup.
Gotcha.
And then you just work.
Yeah,
you just learn.
Yeah, it's like
you just learn this will work.
White wine with fish type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, this will work. And so it's
if you haven't,
if I can do it, literally anybody can do it.
Yeah. If you haven't already, if you have not gotten a sous vide, you should definitely get a sous vide.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a big pot roast going right now at the house.
Nice. For tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Yeah, I just put it on this afternoon, or this morning really. But it's like a fancy ass crock pot.
That's awesome.
Is what it is.
It's a scientific crock pot.
It's a scientific crock pot is what it is, and I mean, since we've had that backstrap that you cook for us, and I mean, you've done sous vide for me before, but for me, it was one thing. What we were talking about earlier in the podcast with the wife, Austin cooked us up. They sous vide backstrap for like 24 hours or something like that. You could cook, I mean, like backstrap, venison backstrap, 26 hours or 27 hours or something.
Yeah, it's like right 24. I got there that night and threw it in.
Really?
And it was,
prime rib.
It was. I'm talking like just beautiful.
129 degrees, medium rare after it was seared.
No joke.
You can't
with the fork.
Pretty much impossible to overcook something.
Yeah.
The texture can change.
Yeah.
We could. If we're not careful, we're going to rabbit trail. But
yeah, for sure.
You have a very big window of perfection.
Yeah.
Versus like when you're grilling, you're like, and now we have to be done now.
Yeah,
because it needs to rest and the cooking's going to continue. But sous vide, it's like, throw this shit in there for
that's awesome
a while and then eat it.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
So my wife eats it and she's like slap the shit out of Austin how good this is, right? And we're like, we're buying one of these, and I'm like,
at the table that night they ordered it.
I was like, that's $100. We should get this, and he was like, dink, it'll be here in 2 days.
Nice.
So I've just been sous videing anything I can get my hands on. We've done pork and chicken, beef. I haven't done anything.
Fish. You did salmon,
I've done fish.
You?
Yeah, salmon.
Solid.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's just like every single time I keep expecting it to be like to wear off type thing, and every time it's just like, holy shit, this is so good.
Yeah.
You know, pork was really good out of it. The salmon was so tasty out of it. You know.
Yeah.
So.
That's for sure, man.
Have you gotten into process? Do you process your own stuff yet, or in an apartment's tough because I did it.
Yeah,
it's a super pain in the
ass. You gotta be that weirdo, like he was.
I lived on the 3rd floor in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I had a garage, so I had hunting gear and all the motorcycle and shit. So I've got my Yeti stacked in the very front of the garage. So I open it, grab 2 hindquarters, and one night I'm carrying 2 hindquarters up the stairs, and this middle-aged lady comes down, and you know they're dripping.
Oh, yeah.
She's like looking at me. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, I have nothing good to say to this lady. Like, "Yep, this is meat."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've dabbled in it, you know, growing up a little bit and stuff, but I haven't gotten back into
commitment.
it. Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
It's a lot of work. I got a lot of meat I got to cut up pretty soon.
Yeah. I got a buddy at work named Zach, and he's much better at that than I am. So anytime I shoot something extra, I'm like, "Hey, man, look, you process, so you keep half. Just kick me back some good stuff." And yeah, he's always smoking and grilling and stuff, and it's always great. So, but
you just gotta start doing it.
You asked me earlier too, before we jumped onto this, about camo, the pattern.
Yeah, sorry. See, we rabbit trail. We apologize.
No. It just hit my brain, and I'll forget if I don't say it.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it.
So, but so that's a question we actually get a lot, man. Yeah. A ton. Because I run a lot of the social media pages and stuff, so like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff, and people ask all the time, you know, I live in this particular area, you know, what would you recommend? And generally, you know, it starts off with what clothing do I need, like layering system and stuff, and that's what we are essentially, is a layering system, just like all the other high-end camo companies in a sense. But so we start there, and I normally build out or do a loadout is what I kind of call it for each particular person and each individual based off their scenario. But then they get down to color variation. And we started with the gray, which a lot of people have seen, and y'all probably probably recipients of some of the donations that we've done for you guys. Probably the gray. The brown we've brought on here of late, and it's been a huge success, man. I'll say this. Color variation comes down, obviously, to geographical location where you're at. You know, if you're in like a real rainy, like overcast, and like, you know, like an Oregon or something, then that might be the color for you.
Yeah.
But if not, you know, the gray, we've had a lot of guys that have rattled in bucks within just a few yards at the SixSite property and across Texas and stuff in the gray. So color variation is going to be almost preference. But
yeah, I mean, the idea is to break it up.
Sure.
I mean, if you're broken up, I mean, this is me just being a plebeian.
Yeah.
On camo.
Sure.
I mean, if you're broken up and sitting still and the wind's right, you're probably pretty okay, right?
That's right. Everything that comes in like the tech, you know, so like zeolite scent technology, and you know, like DWR, like directional water resistance and stuff. The tech that you find in those camos and stuff, and like our camo as well, is it's gonna make it that much easier, you know, to be successful in the woods. You're gonna be able to hunt that much longer.
If it adds a 5% edge,
exactly.
5% is 5%.
That's a huge. That's a huge.
Yeah, I mean, look at archery equipment. You know, go back to that. They're like cell phones, man. I mean, a bow.
Everybody wants a new one. Everybody wants a new one.
Every year they sell new bows. Yeah. But reality is,
I think it's crazy.
The technology has changed, yes, over the last few years, and you know, Matthews and Hoyt have made some really incredible systems.
Thank you.
And amongst others. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. But
cheers. We were handed a random beer sample.
John,
what is this? You can say. Is it a white stout? Yep, I smelled it.
Yes.
White stouts are super cool.
Awesome.
You continue and on there now.
No. But I don't even remember what I was talking about now.
Camo, DWR.
Yeah. So the tech.
And you're talking about bows and how big buys new ones, technology increases.
Yeah. So exactly. So the tech is progressing, you know, and it's allowing you to be that much better. That, you know, and like you were saying earlier, when you get into public land hunting, especially, you know, being out there, you're going to be out there all the time. Mm-hmm. So if something can give you an edge where you can hunt just that much longer, it might be the difference between you being there in the right spot or not.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of this stuff, and it's more comfortable, you know, the comfortability of it. Anybody who's worn, you know, like the old school style, and I'm not bashing on anything in particular, but like, you know, like almost like the onesie style, you know, zip ups, or like, you know, heavy,
I've worn one,
heavy style like Carhartt stuff, you know. And I mean, it can be challenging, you know, to be able to maneuver, especially when you get in high altitude and really pushing yourself. So, But yeah, it's been great. The pattern itself, we get a lot of people asking about that too. The pattern is the same pattern across the board. Yeah. There's no distinguishing factor between the pattern. It's the color variants that you see. Okay. So the gray and the brown are 2 color variations of the same pattern. But and it's a 6-layer pattern. We combined what's different than what you see in most camos. So like if you take like a Sitka or a Kuyu, you got macro pattern and micro patterning, you know, in that digital format. What we have is kind of a combination of the two. You got macro and micro patterning. You got BDU style camo, the shading differences that you really see that bring on the color variations and give you a depth. And then we have the digital aspect that you see, which is actually pulled from frog skin. That's what Rana, you know, Spanish for frog.
Okay.
And so we actually ended up pulling that from it, and that's the digital format that you actually see, the digital portion of it. And that's going to give you really broken up and fine detail and give contrast between those shaded patterns. So, yeah, it's pretty.
So the micro, because I've seen close-ups and some of these other stuff. So you think it makes that? It helps that much?
I do.
Really build and break it up some more?
I do, yeah.
It's cool. I'm not knocking it.
No.
You're a professional. I'm not.
Yeah.
No. Well, this is a big thing, and one of the biggest reasons we really wanted to reach out to you guys is just our thirst for knowledge for what is important, what is not important.
Why? Why?
One of our biggest things, too, is really helping people get into the woods. And a lot of times, we talk with BHA all the time, people who are like, didn't have a dad who hunted, never had anybody in my family who hunted, really want to get into this.
Yes.
I mean, I just try to put myself in somebody's position like that, and like camo, for instance, right?
Sure.
How are you even supposed to like know what to do, right? I mean, and so that's one of the.
I heard this the other day on. I was listening to Vortex podcast, and the example came up with long range precision shooting, right? We all three sitting here can tell you that can be an extremely expensive endeavor.
Beyond can be. I think it is. It is.
It is, right? Is. So, and people get asked that same question even when we started doing the SixSite rifles. Like how do I get into long range shooting and stuff like that? It's very expensive and everything. Well, on the podcast, the Vortex one the other day, a guy said, get what gets you into the woods. Yeah. So essentially, buy what you can afford.
Yep.
And the industry as a whole, we talk about this, and you brought up the example earlier about the coworker, that said you can't eat that. The reality is we're constantly kind of having to defend our position, in this day and time. So the reality is I would much rather have another, brother in arms, if you want to call it that, in the outdoor world and hunting industry, but not maybe essentially right off the bat wearing our particular camo.
Yeah.
But what will end up happening is if you do get engulfed in it, you're going to be in enough positions that you're going to need the equipment to be able to do it, do the job efficiently. And that's where SixSite camo comes in.
Who grew up in a family who was a shooting family, not necessarily a hunting family. My uncles and his kids, hunters, just straight up, badass hunters. My dad just didn't want to do. He just, I'm just not into it, right?
Right.
So the fact that I'm into this thing 15 years now, I'm getting to the point where I see the difference between just getting into the woods and, I can go to Academy every year and buy a piece of game winner, right? And nothing bad about it. But I can buy a piece of game winner camo every single year or every 2 years.
Shirt right now.
Yeah, I mean, or I can go invest. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting to the point where it's like maybe it's better.
Yeah.
And I know it's better to go ahead and just
bite the bullet.
Buy
the nicer
pair
stuff
of the stuff that you're going oh, that's expensive, right? But then I don't have to buy anything again, right? So now I'm done unless I put on weight, or lose weight. More importantly for myself, I'm good to go into the future, and I can take that to Colorado. I can take this to South Texas. I can take it to New Mexico. I can take it to Arkansas.
Right.
I think that's the point. A lot of times I think that point gets washed out with, people are like, it's just, is it worth it? Well, yeah it is. When you buy 12 game winner shirts, you bought yourself.
Yeah, I said that same thing earlier. I understand that there's a line in the sand between, not to knock it, but game winner because we've all owned it.
Yeah.
And it's worked.
Yeah, sure.
But then this mid-level stuff and your stuff, which is very very competitively priced and quality gear, but then you get into some of these other brands that it's like that I will probably never buy.
Yeah.
Just because I I don't have enough knowledge, and if someone can email or message us and convince me otherwise,
right?
Why I could spend $500-600 on a real big set of y'all's gear, versus $1,000 on a top and bottom and a couple layers set of somebody else's gear, the point of diminishing returns in there somewhere.
Right, yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clothing.
You're paying for a name. You're still using synthetics and merinos.
Sure.
At a point, it's kind of all the same.
Exactly. And see, that's where the distinguishing factor with SixSite comes in, and the reason why wholeheartedly it's easy for me to talk about the company and stuff as a whole is because the money going back is it's not overseas. That's fantastic being here built in the U.S. But the reality is that means something to some people. It doesn't mean something to other people. Yeah. That's the reality. But like what I was talking about before, lifetime warranty on a piece of clothing.
Unheard of.
That's literally unheard of at this point. So
I mean, especially with what we do,
I'm hard on shit. Self-admittedly, real hard on shit.
Yeah. So we have guys that come back and they'll have a something, they'll catch on something and it'll tear and stuff. If we can't repair it, then we replace it. And I mean, it's
nice to be able to walk down and go, hey, here.
Yeah, you stand behind your product like that, and it's like I said, Vortex, and I use them as an example because it's just something a lot of people can relate to. But they built an entire company essentially around that. You don't come into the business and start competing with guys like Leopold and Zeiss and Swarovski and stuff without having a niche. Yeah. And the reality is you can hand that scope off, like you were saying earlier. You got if you got family or kids, or if you're growing into the sport, it's something you can invest in and have for years to come.
I did it with binoculars this year, and
awesome.
I went ahead and just took the hard bite and bought a pair of real nice Vortex, and I'm just like, never look back. Like, Jesus, I'm so...
And it's the last pair you bought, basically. Unless you lose them.
That's
right. Or lose them in a kayak flip.
That's another thing, too, man, is I look at, when have you really ever purchased a piece of gear, that you've paid a little bit extra for and really, truly regretted it?
Never,
and that's we're all like him and myself and Jordan, our other guy, are all kind of coming in that same the same age, I guess, together. It's like, man, we've always kind of bought like this will work. For this reasons, we've got reasons, and it will work.
Yeah.
But if we spend not 50% more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it's not.
And just buy nicer gear. We're done buying it.
Yeah.
And there's a noticeable difference.
There is. And that's really honestly where it comes into play, man. And especially, like I said, as you push yourself in the hunting industry, and what I've seen, because like I said, a lot of this is new to me over the last couple of years, being exposed to so many different areas and being able to hunt in all these different areas. But once you start pushing yourself into other environments, it gets you start really seeing the difference, the edge, And I mean, you're not going to see Usain Bolt, running in some Skechers.
Yeah, exactly.
Just being honest.
Sure.
You know, when you reach the peak of what your physicality can take you to, and you've honed your skill set and your body to a certain extent, where and that gear is the initial, the final factor, then that's, I think, a lot of the times when you see those guys really cracking in and spinning some coin.
You got to look for every edge you can get. And that can become an edge once your firearm or bow is on point, and you own something that can shoot better than you can.
Exactly.
And your knowledge and your training, you've physically gotten yourself in shape to do it. And you've done everything due diligence, and then you can focus on all right, the next edge is, am I going to be comfortable and be warm, and all that.
Exactly. And how disappointing, because everybody who's hunted longer, a pretty long time in their life, or even, new hunters, have experienced failure at some point due to equipment.
Yeah. I bailed out of hunts. I'm fucking cold. This sucks.
Exactly.
I'm not comfortable.
You got wet and your feet are freezing, or scope, or something. You start is off or something because
it's far out. You're like, man, that's foggy. 300. It's kind of foggy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got optics like that right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, at hunting, it can be very expensive and it can be extremely challenging, and you might go your whole life before you have one particular opportunity at a 300-inch bull or a 150-inch whitetail, and you don't want equipment to be the deciding
factor. You don't want
factor.
a $200 factor to be like, well,
shit.
Yeah.
I missed a once-in-a-lifetime animal.
It's a lot like the don't pass on something the first day that you shoot the last day, right?
Exactly.
It's the same thing. Like, why would you pass on spending a couple extra bucks?
Right.
I mean, to get to that level and to have things work for you, so.
Yep.
So, as far as, just kind of some, obviously you're not going to roll back the quote proverbial black curtain here on what's coming out, but what do we need to keep our ear to the railroad track for
we've been
for the future here with you guys?
So yeah, we've been dabbling in some stuff, but what's really cool is Steven had him on last time. We had an event at the shop, and we had the Go Wild guys come in.
Okay.
And they actually did a podcast, and that Go Wild app and stuff. So anyway, he was rocking some new ultralight pants for early season.
Okay.
And they're in the R&D phases, if you will.
Yeah.
They're like he had them on, and they're like this kind of khaki tan looking color, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
And but no, they're not bad. But he said that we're working right now with kind of the fabric itself
just
and stuff.
Wearing it and feeling
yeah,
it.
and
seeing how it breaks in.
Our thing is we like gear to be tough. Tough. We're not going to advertise
so
as maybe being like we might not be the ultra lightest, but we're going to be by far the most durable.
Yeah.
And we're still light. It's still extremely light equipment, extremely packable. Like our jackets, the big puffy ones will like roll into like the size of like a Yeti mug.
Yeah.
But that being said, we want durable equipment, and we want it to hold up, and we want it to be a lot of the light pants in the industry they're not like water resistant and stuff, so they absorb. So if you look at our Clear Creek pant like right now, it's still got the DWR treatment to it, so it'll hold up to a pretty significant amount of water before you start getting into some issues. But so we're working on some stuff like that. Other things that you could already kind of predict that would be coming down the pipe. Some
here.
Jacking with some binos harnesses, and what's
All
cool.
right.
What's cool too is
into that.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Like Steven and I have spent evenings like cutting up stuff, and he's got a sewing machine. Like if you ever watch any of our YouTube videos, there's a video of him in front of a sewing machine. That's not like for joke. That's not playing around. Like he's
engineering stuff.
He is literally on that same machine, like in the corner of the shop sometimes, like coming up with new ideas and new trends and things that we can do.
Awesome.
And
we're gonna go down there soon.
I can't wait to go down there.
Yeah, it's like watching a master of their trade, like over in the corner.
You're just like, holy crap!
It's like watching somebody with a chainsaw like carve up those.
Make a bear.
Yeah. Make a bear. It's incredible, man.
Well, you mentioned some events down at the store here in Dallas. Where if somebody wants to figure something out, where do they go? What do they need to do? Is there a calendar? How can they kind of be abreast of those situations?
Yeah.
I said abreast. See, I'm taking over Jordan's spot.
Abreast.
No, you would still have said it. Jordan would have gone. He's 12.
The best thing to do, to be honest with you, is email. So if you go online, you subscribe. Not only do you get like access to like deals, but we like drop to our email subscribers. As soon as a new item comes out, they'll get be able to get first dibs.
Yeah.
So, but we also when we host an event or we have anything going on, generally the first thing we're going to go to is email.
Okay.
You're going to see social media. Obviously, that's what I dabble in a lot. So you're going to see Instagram's going to kick up real quick. You're going to watch the story portions of it. The temporary stuff I end up doing on that a lot, and then converting over into like highlights.
Okay.
And then Facebook and stuff, we'll end up doing some banner ads and everything like that. So
nice.
if you stick with us on social, we're really up to date normally.
We follow you guys and we love it.
Yeah. When I came in and started working with SixSite, I had this image of getting the community behind the camo, which is extremely important with building any company or any brand of any sort, not just camo.
Well,
but it's been this last season has just been unreal on people sending in images and having success in the woods and stuff, and it's been great. The feedback and just the happy faces that you see, man, and people harvesting their first animals and stuff, and then some people harvesting some of the largest animals they've ever shot. So It's nice, man. It's cool to see your gear in Africa, New Zealand, and across the world.
Well, I think here's the thing too is that for the Stormwater Creek crew here, our whole thing is about Texas and Texas. We love to hunt everywhere else, but we want Texas. We want Texas to
Nobody
be
loves Texas more than Texans.
Yeah. So us, the Element, Hook and Arrow,
for sure.
Cable Smith Show. We all are striving to kind of talk about what we do, and everybody from Texas knows about Texas, right?
Oh yeah.
But we're a huge part of BHA here in the state of Texas, and the state gets a bad rap.
We talked about that on media recently.
Just
when Steve finally said we're going to put the kibosh on talking shit about Texas because they got multiple people emailing like, "Hey, motherfucker!"
Yeah,
there is a lot of high fence, but we're hanging stands in public land, and we're spending our time duck hunting on public land.
Yeah. And
it's good to see people understand. Like, yes, Texas is known for its high fence hunting and its
Absolutely.
private land, but it is a giant state, and that 3% is still a lot of land, and there's still some of us who we don't want to spend the money on a lease for one thing. And for the other side, we take pride in hunting public land.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the achievement,
and
like shooting a doe with your bow on public land in Texas. I would cherish that deer far more than a 10-point, this massive thing I shot on a high fence drinking beer in a stand.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I put so much goddamn work into that.
And I think, too, like, just,
I agree. That's challenging.
For us, too, to have our own company here, our own little thing that you could walk in there and you could go, hey man, I've got this going on, and somebody's gonna probably listen to you. They're gonna go, okay, well, we'll get back to you, man. You know. And so I think it's really cool that we've got these companies. The state is really coming alive with our own stuff, you know, because like I said, nobody loves Texas more than Texas. But
look at Magpul.
They're
here.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just. I love the fact that we've got our brand, our stuff, our thing, because everywhere else has their thing.
Yeah,
sure.
You know, and everybody thinks that that's the thing, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because that's the quote unquote thing.
That's what you should have.
Yeah, but this is what you should have, you know.
Yeah, so. it's Texas is a cool and growing opportunity for, everything in the outdoor industry right now.
Absolutely.
It's just blowing.
We send more people out of state to hunt than any other state.
Yeah.
Basically all of them
Everybody
combined.
going to Colorado is from Texas.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right. A lot of them,
We sell more hunting licenses than anybody else, I'm pretty sure. The state is, top notch. Texas Parks and Wildlife is top notch in what they do and what they are working with and what they're restoring. And I mean, we've got bears coming back. We've got elk coming back. We've got mountain lions coming back. We've got turkey. I mean, it's just
everything's on
things
point.
are. I mean, it's moving into, and I know we've talked about Ranella about 200 times, which Jordan's going to yell at us for. But this is the good time to be here. This is
the good old days.
The good old days is today. So. Be a part of it,
Another thing you were talking about too earlier. I know I'm jumping from one thing, but things hit me.
Welcome to the Stormwater Creek podcast.
That's right.
you fit right in.
But the archery side of stuff, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the Dallas DFW area, we get a lot of questions on new hunters, that are coming in, or just people that are interested in the sport. And archery is generally where they start. I think it's less intimidating and it's socially acceptable. To come in archery than it is rifle, just to be honest, at least in this area.
The first person I got into hunting, I talked into archery. He was like, I'm going to get a gun because it'll be easier. I'm like, no.
Yeah. You have no place to hunt.
You can't do it. I mean, it's just too much trouble for you to go every day to a gun range.
Yes.
Well, you can't go to your backyard and shoot,
sure,
right?
Exactly.
So I'm the archery thing is the way to go.
So if you're in like DFW, and like I said, the questions I get a lot is which bow to shoot and stuff, and where can I shoot and everything. There's quite a bit available. You got Cinnamon Creek Ranch.
Yep.
I'm sure you guys are well aware of that. A huge place, and out in Roanoke, Texas.
Yep.
And Willie and a lot of those guys, and Kyle and Chris and everybody, and Michael over there, the whole crew has just been.
Willie is
He's
we hosted our first full draw film tour. Well, not our first one. We had a first one here at Tailwaters, but I mean, just the success of that, we had to look at Cinnamon Creek and said, hey, Willie was like, get your butts down here, man.
Yeah, did y'all? They all hosted it there, didn't
they? They hosted it this year. We did an all-day shoot, and they opened up their course for pennies. For, for the BHA crew and anybody who came out for full draw and hosted us there. And I mean, that's a top-notch facility.
Yeah, they're great, man. Yeah, I've taken my bows over there and stuff. Gateway Archery, if you're in Fort Worth area, so Jim, he owns that place, and they're great. They'll work with you on just about anything. They're one of the only bow shops too that'll take like trade-ins and stuff. And they'll buy used bows. But I shot a lot out of those two particular places. But man, it's just if you have the itch and you're in DFW, those two spots, especially from the ones that I've used, anything that you can bring there, questions that you may have about equipment or setting it up or tuning the bow and stuff, they can handle. And then it's Cinnamon especially, you have the opportunity to shoot almost every bow that's on the market. They have like almost everything. I think.
Just no.
So
I mean, and just. I mean, it's just like, to me too, like as a new hunter, to be an archery hunter, to like go into an archery shop, is far and away less intimidating than going into a gun shop. I just think there's a thing with guns, and I may be speaking out of my ass here, and it's fine. Like, I'll deal with it. But I just feel like a lot of times people with guns they kind of come with a very super guarded mentality to them a lot of times for good reason. But I think a lot of times archery people are so much more like they're like, no, man, you gotta do this, and it's just so I don't know. I get such a joy out of shooting my bow in my backyard. Right. And my neighbors think I'm weird as shit, especially come about August when I hang a tree stand and start shooting out of that. People dog on a crossbow, grab a crossbow. My buddy who I got into hunting a couple years ago, I was like, get a crossbow, man. You'll start shooting right away. You'll be accurate right away.
That's
and
right.
You can do that. You can get a pretty entry level crossbow and hunt for a year or two, and then guess what? Move up to that Hoyt or that Matthews that
and there's nothing like slinging an arrow, man. No. There's really not. It's like kind of like I never really shot long range until we started doing the Remington build. There's nothing like shooting and hitting steel at like 1,000+ yards, 1,200 yards, 1,400 yards. That sensation and being able to do the calculations you do. You're getting your data on previous engagement, getting your dope, and you're going out and shooting chronos, and you're building your rounds out and stuff. I mean, you're gonna have
to come on with this on our mule deer hunt at Lake Meredith.
Okay,
over the counter mule deer hunt in the state of Texas.
I know exactly where it's at.
We've got a wall tent. We're gonna do it.
Okay, cool,
so
man.
Get out there.
We want a crew to come out with us.
Lake Meredith can be tough hunting.
I grew up.
He grew up there.
Out there.
Okay, so you might have some insight.
No, I didn't. Nobody in my family hunted.
Oh, okay.
So late. I mean, at 2021. I kind of got into it on my own with buddies who didn't really hunt either, other than shooting dove, because everybody doves hunt. Like, that doesn't count.
Dove.
If you don't dove hunt in Texas, you're not Texan. But
that's all right.
And that's just what you do.
That's all right.
So we kind of started turkey hunting out there. So I've turkey hunted there a handful of times, and that's it. Then I moved to Dallas.
Okay.
So it's all going to be kind of new. He's done it 2 years now, but next year we're going to go hard.
I've seen some studs shot out of there.
Dude,
there's some giants.
There were some big deer that were shot off there. And there's some big whitetails that get killed out there. Some big mule deer, but you want to talk about the one place, and everybody who hunts Lake Meredith is screaming right now at their radio saying, "Stop talking about it!"
Shut the fuck up!
Shut the fuck up, Abe. Talk about Lake Tawakoni again. It's just the one place that you can go and you can Western style. You can straight up Western.
Yeah, you can
style spot and stock hunt. And just have that experience with the Texas hunting license.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, last year I went out there, was like blown away by it. When we talked about this earlier in the podcast about just those kind of like progressions of like getting over like those little rookie type mistakes. And so like the first year I went out there, I was just like so enamored with it, and then I went out there again this year, and I was like, man, I'm woefully unprepared because. I mean, if I have to shoot something at 500 yards, I don't know if I'm, good to do that. I mean, I grew up hunting Texas, East Texas at that. 500-yard shot?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Shooting through a forest?
Oh, yeah.
That ain't happening,
No, not at all. You carry a 30-30 brush gun with Marlin 30-30, I think it was like
270, 243.
That's what I grew up
at 100 yards.
270 was like, that was like the round growing up in my house.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that's like 2019 for me is about getting to a range where I can shoot at 200. I mean, 100 yards is fine. I'm not worried about that. But I want to get to 2, and then to 4, and then to 8.
Yeah.
And, like you said, to ring 1,000, that's like, holy shit. That's a lot.
I've shot 3 and 4, and that's the extent of it.
And 3 and 400?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I've rang steel, but it's not like, I rang it.
Oh, man. We got to go. There's a place called Triple C Tactical. Have y'all heard of that?
I've heard the name,
it's at 2,000 yard range. You can shoot out to 2,000 yards.
Holy shit!
And it's
we don't have the optics for that right now.
It's just south of Fort Worth in about 30 minutes or so. But we've shot out.
Can you just go pay a range fee and use it, or
I think it's like $42 or something like that. And you can shoot out to 1,000 at 42. I think you have to qualify for the 2,000. But
just slinging shit out there.
Oh man, but it's unreal. I mean, it's an incredible facility. That it's huge. It's on this giant ranch out there. It's beautiful. But no, the first time I got out there, I mean, it's not like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a sniper out there just popping them off every time and nailing it. But I mean, when you have the capability, going back once again to your equipment, like it's the first time in my life that I really owned a rifle that was specifically built for long range, in a caliber that really could handle it, 6.5 Creedmoor. I'd built a long range hunting rifle, essentially is what we did. And I had myself and a couple of other buddies have built out the same similar rifle build, and I mean, hitting an animal at 300 yards is like, you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
I just shot, literally like last weekend, shot a buck at 289 yards and smoked him, dropped him right on the spot.
Yeah.
6.5 Creedmoor, 143 ELDX, right through the neck and heart and done. And dropped him in his tracks. We shot a pronghorn at 350, same bullet, and dropped him. I mean, so it's when you start. When you get into what is long range hunting, it's obviously just like long range. I know guys with a bow who can smoke it out to 70, 80 yards and do really well. But it's where your comfortability lies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's you get into a very gray area.
You got to practice outside of that.
That's right. Yeah.
Because we've only been bow hunting a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because we got into it for more access. I buying my first bow a couple of years ago, like shooting at 10 was okay, but at 20 was like, this is crazy. And then shooting at 30 is like, this is crazy. And then now I bought a better bow and shot a shitload of arrows. Then our elk hunt, Jordan and I walked our bows out to 120.
Yeah.
And I got a couple bulls at 120.
Oh yeah, no,
and now it's like, oh, that 30-yard shot I used to be like, man, I'm grouping really nice at 30. It's like, that's a joke.
Yeah, I think you also Josh Bomar. The Bomars, the giant guy.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable hunter and stuff. He smoked, I think, like over a 200-inch whitetail, and I think he shot him, if I remember correctly, at over 70 yards.
Jesus
70
Christ.
yards and smoked him. Like, I mean,
Cam Haynes doing that shit.
Yeah, it's unreal, man. But
70 yards, that's a lot.
I wouldn't take a shot at an animal
whitetail,
past 35, 40.
Yeah.
Myself, but
yeah, comfortability-wise, I mean, when I practice with a lot of the guys and stuff, and like I said, I'm not going to say I come from a competitive shooting background, but I have shot competitively.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, we start at shooting at like 40, 50 yards.
Yeah,
and we don't shoot hardly anything under that.
Sure.
And that way, like you said, that it's chip shots when you're talking
like
20, 30, 40. Things can happen, though. Obviously, equipment failure and stuff can get in your way and everything. And
like the great Forrest Gump said, man, shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. But yeah, no, the equipment can definitely do it. And,
agreed, yeah.
So if you can handle it and dial it in.
Do it. So, I know, just to kind of, I think we are probably getting to the end here, but how do we find out about SixSite if we want to learn a little bit more about it?
Website, address, Twitter, Instagram, give us it all.
Yeah, that's it. So, so it's www.sixsitegear.com, so that'll take you straight to the page.
Spell that for these people.
SIXSITE.
A lot of people, a lot of our fans right now are putting SEX
or SICK or
six like the number six. It's SIXSITE, all one word, and then gear.
Perfect.
Yep, and that's sixsitegear.com. You can check it out there, and I highly recommend you go into it because there is more to offer just than the clothing portion. It is it's a pretty cool website. The experience portion of the page is awesome, and then of course you can go to YouTube. We have multiple videos out, and a lot of the videos are Jack Pylan, our creative director, is just unbelievable, and we've got some pretty heart-wrenching videos and stuff out that are real, true stories, and some of them are actually shot with our employees at the shop.
Yeah.
So like Marcus is one of our guys out there and stuff, and if you ever want to watch a hunt and be appreciative about life in general and everything, and you can't find a better guy on the planet, watch that video.
Yeah.
So go to YouTube, check that out, and then you can check out Remington's page. Just go to remington.com. You can look at that. And like I said, it's one of the first ones that'll pop up. You can go into the custom shop side, but it should be a banner one. Once it scroll through, you can see the rifle there. And then, of course, Instagram, SixSite Gear, and then Facebook, same thing. Just check out SixSite Gear like that, and it's pretty easy to find.
It's a good follow.
Yeah.
Especially on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Yeah. We're huge fans of you guys. So
yeah, we appreciate it. And if anybody wants to extend the conversation and talk about anything in detail as far as equipment and stuff, when you DM or message somebody, you're getting myself or Whit. So we're more than happy to answer anything, in regards to equipment or where you're going and stuff like that. To a certain extent, we can try to help you out or put you in the right direction.
Well, you're gonna have 2 drunk people come into your shop in a couple weeks.
We'll probably go to deval them.
Yeah.
It'll be February.
We'll probably have our wives with us to make sure that we're in check. But,
nice.
No way. Mine's not gonna. She's gonna ask for me to buy her shit too.
We'll just put you in the walk-in cooler if you
no,
start
I'm
acting
just
up.
saying,
Game over for
they
me.
just need to
I'm
be.
fucked.
They need to be there to babysit us so that we don't do stupid shit.
Hey, we literally have a baseball bat and baseballs in there, and we crack them into the warehouse. So
you're getting me more on board with this.
It's like a playground there. It's grills, walk-in.
Into January, once that 20th is done, we're done after that.
We may reach out to you to do a quote tour.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Maybe you can see the tour on Instagram and
y'all
inspire yourselves to come down here.
So like we said, we're at Tailwaters, and they have this back area with the bar and the beer and all that. Do y'all do that there?
Yeah.
This is always amazing to me.
Yeah, when we host events and stuff, we combine with Deep Ellum Brewery or Lone Star, and stuff.
Nice.
Or we'd have the tendency we cook a lot, so we barbecue a lot and smoke and
Sure.
And we have a lot of stuff going on when we go there. We normally have cornhole and some games just to kind of pass the time too, but you get a lot of guys together to talk about hunting and stuff, and the hours of operation go from
all of a sudden
7:30 is when we're going to close to
we're not a bar. We don't have to shut down at 2 o'clock.
Exactly.
to midnight, So, but we have a really loyal fan base, and it's continuing to grow. And just honestly, man, it's been very, very humbling to be a part of such a great organization and just great people. So, to be honest.
Well, we're humbled by having you on the podcast and
thank you
to
so
have
much.
you here, and can't thank you enough for coming out. And I think we're probably going to twist your arm to see if we can't have a BHA event there too.
Yeah, man.
We love Tailwaters, and Sean is always a gracious host.
But let's show some of the BHA guys other stuff. Let's bring them and show them your
we love
gear.
to move people around.
100%, man. Yeah. You need to come through.
We've got beer suppliers, and we can
we
show up with
we know
people
a
and
guy
beer.
who can get some beers.
Yeah, we can bring on some more guys, talk a little bit more podcast stuff and more hunting and
sure, man.
more
Whatever you
equipment,
wanna
more
do.
gear, and
we love nerding out.
Oh yeah.
The other night we were physically had to make each other just all right, you have to leave my house, otherwise we're gonna watch saddle hunting videos until we have to leave to go to work in the morning. And that's not good.
Yeah, Tuesday or something.
It's exactly. This isn't good. This is a Tuesday.
It's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday.
We don't do this for a living. We have to work.
Same here, man. Still working.
Oh my God.
All right.
I got to figure it out.
Don't we all?
I know.
That's right.
So, Erik,
man, thank you so
much.
much.
So much
for having us,
guys.
Thank you.
You guys, make sure you like and review the podcast. Like we said at the very beginning, Big 6'5" Creedmoor giveaway for BHA. Please go out and buy a gift membership. It'll be an awesome Christmas present for some, buy it for your mom. Have your address, and you could be like me and my wife and your wife, Austin, and have about 17 different Turkey Country Ducks
doubles
Unlimited,
of everything that come there.
Doubles of everything that comes to my house now. So I have magazines spread across the house. Like people have guns spread across the house.
Yeah.
We have that too.
Man.
Both of us.
I really like
No children, man.
Dinks, man.
Dinks.
So, thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, SixSite.
Hey, no
Erik.
problem. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys.
Adios.
All right.